Morning, everybody. So, what are we doing today? Well, like I said, today we're doing that side. Wilwood breaks this side step by step so you can see it for yourself and follow along. Hope you enjoy the show. See you in a second. This is what we're doing. Whoops. 55, 7 only. This bracket, that bolt right there, this bracket, this spindle, all this stuff, I gotta take all that off to make it look like this. Then you'll see what I'm talking about. We're gonna do it step by step. First thing, where is it? That tie rod end, that tie rod end, this one right here, that one there, gotta come off. So let's get that off. Hi, let's bring it down to this level. Oh, maybe we need to go lower than that. Where's that right there? Okay. See that? That there's the tie rod end. I'm gonna show you how to get this off in real time, hopefully. Here's some of them. All right. First things first. Cotter pin. I need my cheaters. I couldn't see that. This is gonna get in the way right here. Incidentally, that's how you take ball joints off too. You don't use a pickle fork. That's what that boss is built for. FYI, that's how you do your ball joint, same thing. That flat spot right there is meant for a hammer. You loosen this thing up, you take your cotter pin out and you take the nut down as far as you can. You leave your spring in, you put a jack under there to give you some room to let it drop. And you hit that sucker as hard as you can right here, this flat spot. And that sucker will pop up and drop down and you'll have your upper ball joint off. You'll ever be able to take your control arm off. Don't need to use a pickle fork. Your bottom one, now that's a little bit trickier, but it's the same trick, but you go the other direction. Have a jack, spring. I'm not going to show you how to do it. You can also run, if you're trick, take your shock out, make you a bracket, go through your spring, all thread through the shock and run it up, and you can compress your spring and hold your spring up into the frame with your shock gone, and then you can just use a pry bar and whack that sucker and do the same thing, and your control arm will fall out. You can just change your control arms with your spring still in the frame. But you know, that's old school. Old school stuff. I ain't showing you how to do that either. Unless I do gotta change this front end, then I will. But this time, we're done here. Tie rod is out. Next step on the list, rotor, caliper, and then I gotta clean all that crap up. Let's do it. What am I doing? I'm compressing the piston so that caliper comes off nice and easy. You also do this before you change your brakes. You compress the caliper as far as you can. You can use it, whatever you end up using, you just use it. Big screwdriver, pry bar, whatever you can use. Now, where did I put that? Really on right. Where is that socket? I had to pause you because the meltdown that happened, nobody needs to see. And there's kids that watch, I know that. Yay. Autism, it's wonderful. Anyway, I needed this socket because without the socket, this isn't coming apart. And remember when I was moving all that stuff, you hear something clank and fall down in there? You didn't, I did. And I knew it was this thing because I had hit it out of the way and set it someplace. Yeah. Anyway, it was that socket. It was in the bottom of the radiator core support. If you have a Tri5, you know that channel that runs down right there? It was sitting right in there. It never hit the ground. It was right there where I didn't want it to be. But we're here now. We're here now. Everything's great. Build a hot rod. That's what you like to do. You keep telling everybody that this thing is number 136. It is. Why are you doing it a second time? Why aren't you getting 137? Because this car has history. Me and this car have history now. It's served its purpose. It's time to do it right. Time to do it right. As right as I can. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Those are not bent. Oh, look. See that ridge? You see that? That's because this side was bent. This side was bent severely and always had a problem. And that other side was bent a different way, I think, because those pads didn't wear evenly and they were worn down clear to the metal. Clear to the metal. And that caliper, I think, was frozen. So now what? Well, now that's got to come off to get to the bracket tray. Alright, here we go. Let's keep moving. Progress. Hold, please. See, I told you. I had put brand new nuts, washers on this last time I did the bearings. I had put all new stuff in there. Why that other side ate itself? I mean, look at this one. Wow. Can you hear that? Probably not because Ding Dong drove by, but listen. You heard it, right? Sucker's not too loose. Stop. All right. You come this way. Beat it. Oh yeah, not reusing any of this. None yet. Wow, it's pitted. Look at that. So I am not crazy. These bearing quality, the quality of the bearings or the grease or something I'm getting, these rollers are pitted. They're coming apart. So I had a bearing failure or grease failure, and this is that red Lucas high temp. The stuff I'm putting in here now in this bearing greaser thingy. Where's my toy? It's over here somewhere. That thing. The bearing packer up there. Bearing packer 6000. This has this is Wilwood's high temp racing grease, their own grease. It's extreme pressure, high temp stuff. Selling, it's like a, you know, like a cylinder tube for doing the, the gun, you know, grease gun. They're like half that size. And that's half of one of those in there. And I've already packed one side. So it goes quite a ways. Wow, oh wow, this is crazy. Pardon the side show Bob here thing, but bonus points if you remember Sideshow Bob. That is a pit. Can you hear it? I can catch my fingernail on that thing. There's several of them in there. I have brake clean. Should I use it? Why not? Magic juice. Oh, it feels good. Get that clean. All right. Follow along. Let's see if you see what I see. Look at that. There's a crater right there. Crater. Bunch of craters. So this bearing surface, look at that. The surface completely come off that roller right there. Look at that. Look at that. That's not debris, kids. That's like metal separation. And they're not purple from high heat. Although the outside edge sure is stained like it. No. Just my imagination. They're not purple from high heat. That's disappointing on a couple levels because I don't know what the problem was. Oh, why am I doing that? I'm gonna pull this back bearing up and seal just like that. The inner race is still red. Wow. But that one is completely gone. Look how dark that race is. Look at that thing. That race it's completely gone. The whole surface is gone. Can you see that? Can you guys see that? That whole surface in there is gone. It's got pits all over it. It looks like a pebbled road. So, bearing failure. It wasn't an adjustment problem. I used that grease, I think, on the whole thing from the beginning. So it might be the grease. I don't understand it. It's almost like they rusted, like the bearings like there was surface rust on the race or something that I couldn't. Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the car didn't sit for very long. This thing doesn't sit long enough for me to even wash it or change oil. So I don't understand how. I'm perplexed, kids. I'm perplexed. I am perplexed. Magic juice. Magic juice. Yay. Surface rust. Oh yeah, what's the socket on that one I need? The big one, where is it? Is it this one? No. What did you do with it, stupid? No. Yay me! Oh yeah, and to put that other kit on, you gotta grind this bolt down. Here we go. Bertha. The lug nut buster. And now you're gonna bust this off. So hold your ears, kids. Is there a gap there? No, there isn't. Well, that was cute. Next. Is it this one? Yep, it's that one. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Steering arm's coming off. I'm taking this bracket off so I can show you a bracket side by side, which I already did actually, so I'm not doing that again. Well, maybe I will for this one. Hiya. Come here. All right. Look at this. This bracket legitimately uses, hold please, a spacer, which is a nut, and then the bracket is sandwiched on this side, which, you guessed it, kid, messed with my Ackerman because it moved my Ackerman pivot point, which if you don't know what that is, you need to go to school. Ackerman also controls your turning angle and turning radius. So this is designed with this car to be bolted directly to the back of this spindle. It was spaced out 3/8 of an inch. That may not seem like much, but when you're talking in degrees, when you're starting from an angle and the point's the middle of the differential, and it intersects this point right here, this plane right here that goes between this ball joint and this ball joint, because that's technically your pivot pin. So this is directly in line with that. Same side. So one tire follows the other in a different arc when you go around a corner. So they don't both fight each other in a weird way. That's what Ackerman is. Ackerman is that angle that controls from the back of the differential to the front wheels. And as you turn, they don't do weird stuff. They do what they're supposed to do. They follow. A couple degrees can make a big difference in the way a car handles or drives or turns. And then you bring the tire out this way, 3/4 of an inch, and you've messed all sorts of stuff up. The GM engineers weren't dumb. This is the second year of anti-dive front end, by the way. So back on in the position of where it goes. How do you know? Well, it only goes on one way. If you do it the wrong way, the tape will be the wrong direction on your tie rod, which actually, now I gotta stretch my tie rods out, which brings me to, I'm changing all that. Foreshadowing also, that's what those other boxes are because it's wore out. Okay, brackets gone. We're down to a bare spindle. This is the point where I leave you for a second. And we're back. I had an entire conversation in Spanish in my head, actually, about washing my hands. Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, I know Spanish. I don't speak it very much because I'm terrible at it. My brother says I sound like a Mexican hillbilly that uses intelligent words sometimes. Because I learned my Spanish from some in school, like 7th grade, and my brain kept it for some reason because I thought it was funny. And then later on in life, hanging out with Jose, Pose B, at his house doing stuff, I always thought it was respectful if I learned how to speak his language, and the only way I knew how to do it was conversationally, and I learned how to do it by watching those telenovelas, the soap operas. Yeah, the Spanish soap operas. Yeah, it was really funny. So they're made for, simple, I don't want to say simple minds, but they're made just for so you can understand it. They speak slowly, and it was easy for me, and it had so much emotion, it was easy for me to follow along, and I was able to put it together. So I understand more than I can speak, and I haven't used it for years. I still dream in it though. That's a side note. I miss Jose. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. All right, time to put the bracket on. First things first, bracket on. These are loose, like I said. You read the instructions. There's a shim that goes here. These packages, this bolt, these washers, these nuts, whatever, are specifically for the bolts that replace this. This is the long one for the Corvettes and the 61 to 68 drum brake cars, like the big cars. This bracket, this whole setup works for that. The Tri5 uses a different size bolt. This one compared to this short one. There's your difference, kids. There's a spacer that comes with this to make up the difference because I believe on the later cars, I believe the boss is shorter, and so the spacer is there for the longer bolt and whatnot to be able to use the same bracket. That's my guess. So we're using this one. These also are shims and washers for your caliper. This box down here, I've got my stuff in it, so if you hear me fumbling around, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for my washers, spacer, and the other kit. So on this kit, with the small bolt on the Tri5, you use one spacer here, and they're all the same thickness. It tells you in the book. I think they're 17,000 or something like that. And they go right there. They're basically for, well, it's correct alignment. They actually are. It actually works. Don't leave them out. Please don't leave them out. And then these bolts get replaced also. Hold, please. So we're going to hang this by this one first. Oh look, it's the same as the one from my caliper. They're aluminum bolt and aluminum bracket, so I'm trying not to make it too tight because, like I said, it's aluminum, so you're only gonna get one shot at making that tight. Mental note there, right? So then you follow the other ingredients, the other instructions, which there's a washer. That nut and that washer, and this flange nut goes on the back. This washer goes on. So the washer goes under the head of the bolt, goes through the back like that, through this steering arm, just like you could guess it. Same thing here, washer. Steering arm. And this flange nut goes on the back. And I believe it's washer. Let me hold on a second. Let me check that because I need the instructions. Where did I put them? Oh, I hid them someplace where I wouldn't lose them. Where was that? I don't know. I don't know what I did with them. Oh, on top of the car. Good job. Way to go. All right, here we go. Instructiments. See that? Washer, aluminum bolt bracket. Washer, bolt, washer bracket, through washer nut. Yep, it does. So on the back side of the bolt, on your arm, you can see this. You guys can see it here too. Put a washer on it. And then this crush nut. It's a 12-point crush nut. It only goes on like a little bit. It freaked me out when I first put it on because I wasn't sure that I had I thought it might have been cross threading, but it's a crush nut and it goes on just barely, just starts. It feels funny too when it starts. There it goes. It's on. It's on, okay. And then that again is your 12-point. And you are gonna, no, I think I did, hold on. Hold please, where'd my socket go? I remember, I was smarter than that. I was smarter this time. Last time, it's aluminum, so you don't hit it with a gun. Hold please, where'd my socket go? Where did I put it? Where did I put that socket? I put that socket over here somewhere, and I told myself, don't lose that socket, because you're going to need it in a second. And guess what? I lost it again. Okay, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Hold, please. All right. 5/8, ½ inch on that 12-point. Come on, you piece of crap. What? So that ratchet was fighting me in the back. How nice. How nice. these on the back. Yep, tighten these two. These I believe are just 14. Yeah. These are 9/16 on the back here. Snug them up. There you go. Brackets on. Next thing is the rotor and, well, I gotta pack bearings. You wanna see me do that? You guys have seen bearings being packed. So I'm gonna use this machine, pack the bearings for future me, and then future me in just a second, you guys will see me sliding that rotor on, and then the caliper will go on, and then this side will be just done just like that side. And incidentally, taking it apart took 28 minutes. So we'll see what happens here. Going together. So far it's been 52 minutes total. And that was me wandering around looking for stuff. But you guys have not seen the whole thing. See ya. Just a second. In case you're wondering, this is what comes in that kit. Washer, nut, cotter key, set of bearings, seal, rubber band, just like that. And I checked, and these are just common bearings you can buy. I mean, these are really, really good ones, but I can buy these locally at my bearings house. And the seal, it's for 57 Chevy. So that rotor that they built, they did it right. They did it right. I'm stoked. Seen a set. In case you're wondering, that bearing packer does a pretty good job packing that bearing. Huh? Not bad. Front bearing. The next bearing's going on. Pull it out. Drop it in. Tighten this thing down. And then smush. And there it is. Smush. Unscrew it. Pull the other bearing out. Two packed bearings. But I'm gonna finish packing them in my hand, because the outside of that one is drier than I like to see. And I just feel like doing it. Anyway, old-fashioned way. Let's see what happens here. Forcing it in with my thumb, forcing it out that bottom groove. Same with this one. Forcing it through the crack. All right, those two bearings are greased up, ready for the show. I can't shut you off. Oh, but I'm gonna get a greasy smudge on the camera. I'm about to put this seal in. I like to fill the back side of the seal with grease, because sometimes that spring will pop out of there. I don't fill it all the way. I just get in there around that groove where the spring inside the seal is. You see that little spring in there? I learned this a long time ago. I was probably 15 when I learned this in a tire shop. And the old mechanic there taught me that. He said you grease the backside of a seal like this, and you'll never lose the spring when you go put it on. He said it'll never pop inside, you'll never lose it. And the seal will last much longer. And he's been right. He said take your time lining this thing up and always use the correct tool on a seal, which is a seal driver. Hold please. I don't like getting my stuff greasy. I know, I'm working on cars, but I don't like greasy hands. I just don't like it. It's a texture thing. You'll know it's in, it'll ring. And if you do it right, you don't get a bunch of dents all over your seal driver. This thing may look new, but it's not. I've had this thing for years. I just don't abuse it. Sweetheart, it's time for you to go to your home. Come on, baby. Feel like nearly enough grease in there. So we're going to grease it some more. We're going to grease the front of this a lot more. Oh, I gotta put the studs in this. Hold please. Skip to this point. Washer on. We're gonna washer. Inner bearings in. That washer with the tab. Little tab right there, that thing goes in this key groove. that's it. Brand new nut. Right down until it's tight. Back it off a little bit. You want to be able to grab it and get to like 1 revolution. So I'll mark one. I'll mark a stud up here like this, and I'll spin it. Nope, too tight. This is just by feel. It's how I do it. You can do it here. You can do it differently. You can do it however you want. And this is the way I've been doing it since I was a kid. Oh, here we go. There you go. Pretty good run. If you can hold on to it. My fingers weren't greasy. It just takes like that. That's how I know. Let's see how good the cotter pin is on this kit. Perfect. The other side is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Got to cut this off because you don't want a tail for your cap. Get some goop in your cap. When it gets hot, about halfway up or so. Hydraulic, too much grease, and you hit this, it'll bounce off when it hits that nut. If you pack it clear off, you'll learn something about hydraulics. You'll go like this and bounce out. Incidentally, you can do the same thing with a throwout bearing or the pilot bearing in a crankshaft. If you can't get it out, fill the hole with grease and then stuff something in the hole that you, like a punch or something that fits it exactly, and punch it the grease and it'll pop the metal out. That's old school too. For you folks at home, you're gonna see this from in there real easy. This caliper thing assembly that goes on. But I'm going to show you this in real time up here too. It's not going to be pretty. You'll be looking at my back and my shoulder and all sorts of crap like that. So here's your caliper. Like I said, here's your line. It can go either direction. Don't lose this pin because this is the only way that you will ever get pads into this. So stick that back in the box. Don't lose it. It can go on this direction or on the other side. You know, on this side it's on that side it's like this. It don't matter. There's 4 bleeder pins. You'll be surprised when I put the shims in because it'll tell me what shims to do it. When you put them in there, it is exactly centered over this rotor. It's unbelievable. This kit is that precise. And those 4 pistons in there, you see them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bolt this on. I gotta get my bolts. Bolts. Where's my bolts? Oh no. Yeah, so there's washers, right? Washers for each bolt. See that? Washer for that bolt. Washer for that bolt. I better refer to the manual because there was a series of instructamentos. Where is it, right? There. All right, hold on. Hold, please. So, bolt, washer, shimmy, shim, shim, shimmy, shim, shim times 2 between the bracket and the caliper. So it's bolt, washer, caliper bracket, or caliper itself, shim, shim, and that spot there. But it's like this. So here's like caliper this. Bracket. Bolt goes like this. Shim 1, shim 2. They're the same size. Shim 1, shim 2. I found it was easier to do one at a time. Just barely get the bolt through the back of it. Slide it down until it's flush. Pin her in there. If you want to see something neat, hold on a second. Is it this size? Okay. What torque spec is that? I don't know. It's aluminum, so use your judgment. You know what I'm saying? They are steel inserts into the aluminum brackets, but use your judgment. Okay, you see that? You see how nice and aligned that is? Can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that. You can't see that, but you can see it. It's perfect. Oh, and how bad are the pads? Oh, man. You're just doing a pad swap, which I don't recommend you do. This is the part number, by the way, for this pad. Stop. Instructions. Instructions. Hey, 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 hey. You, stay there. They come out of a little box like this. Oh, they're so cute. Look at them. They come as a pair, just like that. Remember that pin I said don't lose? This one right here, don't lose it. They just slide right in there like they were made for it, because they were. And that's it. Well, I mean, you bend this out of the way. Where's my... I use this without grease. From the pad here to the edge of that, bend it like that, so I don't touch the caliper. But the pad is a consumable. So there you go. There you have it. Now it's time to go from the lines, which the lines, see this line here? I'm not sure how that's supposed to be routed. So we're gonna figure that out first. That might be a different video, how to do these brake lines. Or I might figure it out in a second and put it on this video. I haven't decided. This video is long in the tooth, I think. Actually, this is where I'm gonna stop this video. I said earlier that I was gonna do these for brake lines in a different video, but that's not even worth it. Look at this. See this? Look at that line right there. See it? Right back there to the caliper. So, when I ordered this kit from Summit, at the bottom of that, when you ordered it, says suggested parts. This came up. And I was skeptical when I pulled those little tiny frozen pieces of crap out. Look how bad those are. Ugh. When I pulled those and tossed those in the trash, I thought that line's gonna be way too short. And the reality is, it isn't. It's perfect. That line did not come with this kit. Don't get confused with that. You have to buy it separately. But that is the correct line kit. I'll show you the part number again. This one, right here. This line kit. If my camera will focus, right there. This is the one. Tri5 Chevy, 61 to 68. Chevy, Impala, Biscayne, Belair, whatever, and 63 and 4 Corvette, I think. Yeah, this is the kit you want. That's the line you need for this brake line, the flex line kit you need for a Tri5 Chevy. Yeah, so here's where this ends, kids. Okay, here it is, the actual end of the video. It's French. Anyway, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. Don't forget to remind me, I need to bleed those. Get brake fluid. Mental note, get brake fluid. Grab my tea. Aloha.